Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a great day. So there is a ton going on, a ton. Anyway, if you want a short version of my video, without all the color and everything else, my insights, you can always take a look at our shorts. So if you go over to Eddie J on Crypto, I have a playlist called Shorts, and I drop one every morning. Seems to be working out for a lot of people, so that's what I've decided to do. Anyway, let's get started. So you have FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, he's the CEO, saying that listen, there are some companies, there are a lot of crypto firms that are going to fail. As a matter of fact, he's thinking that there are already companies that are already insolvent. He knows because he's been backing a lot of companies trying to prop them up, stand them up. One of them is BlockFi. I'm not sure if that deal is closed yet, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty close if it hasn't already. He's giving them a $250 million credit line. That's a big deal. You have Morgan Creek that's also trying to solidify a $250 million credit line for them that would give them an upper hand should, things go completely awry because they might want to get in on that business. CoinFlex. This is crazy. CoinFlex is a smaller crypto exchange, and one of its shareholders is actually Roger Ver of Bitcoin Cash fame or infamy, however you want to look at it, because Bitcoin Cash is a failed crypto project. They say that he owes them $47 million. Now, it was rumored that this guy was a billionaire. He was like first on YouTube, all that good stuff. $47 million? $47 million is what he owes. Seriously? Wow. And it's causing problems for the exchange. They've had to pause, customer withdrawals and things like that. And you sit there and you just kind of go, so $47 million wrecked your exchange? And this is one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of centralized exchanges. Because if you can have something like this happen that can wreck an exchange, that's a huge risk. I don't want you holding my money. I don't want you holding my assets. Now I can't get to them? No, that would freak me out. So I actually have very little, in terms of percentages, I have very little of my money on a centralized exchange, and it's specifically because it was easier for me to do staking there. Getting a 5.75 APY from Coinbase at the moment. By the way, Coinbase was downgraded by Goldman Sachs. What are they down like 85% or something like that? So that's a big deal. Am I going to keep my money there? I think about that every morning when I get up to do my video. So I'm seriously contemplating. Then you have Babel Finance, another DeFi lender in serious hot water. You've got key employees that are leaving, right? Some people say that there are key employees that have already left the building. So you can imagine what's going on in that space. So that's a huge debacle that you look at and you sit there and you kind of go, wow, what were you thinking? Like, how were you running the business? Again, I think a lot of these DeFi players got ahead of themselves, got way in front of their skis, over leveraging, over promising, under delivering, just all kinds of things, from different players that have led to, a lot of downfall. And I think that, it's something to contemplate if you're in the DeFi space. I think that's why there are a lot of traditional companies looking to get into the DeFi space, because they actually have an understanding of the numbers and how things work and what can happen. And joining in on a decentralized space keeps them in business, right? So something to contemplate as you move forward. Another company that's involved in a huge debacle. So you have a crypto infrastructure company, Compass Mining. They supply the infrastructure to, basically hosting infrastructure to, miners. And apparently they haven't been paying their electricity bills to the tune of about $500,000, $500,000, and so they're losing people left and right. The CEO and the CFO gone effective immediately. The CTO and the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, are going to take over in the interim. And you sit there and just go, wow. So you're a miner. You're already getting hammered by the current crypto economy, and you're being hosted by a company that's not paying its bills. What do you do? What do you do? I'm speaking with a friend of mine, and he's an investor with a group, and they're thinking about getting into the business. And they were like, well, there are different ways of doing it. At least they're thinking smart. They're like, no, we're going to acquire the land. We're going to figure out how we're going to create, the energy for it, or how we're going to acquire the energy for it. And then we'll get into the mining business if we decide to get into the mining business. But if we do, they're not going to, if they do, they're not going to rely on, a third party to supply infrastructure. That's like hosting with a hosting company, your website, but the hosting company doesn't really manage the infrastructure. It's another company that's managing the infrastructure. Too many hands in the pockets, too many things that can go wrong. And here's at the base level where you've got things going wrong. So now you sit there and you kind of like, how do you get into certain spaces? Who's failing, who's winning? And now you know why there are so many companies that are swirling around, just waiting for people to go down the drain to snatch up assets. Even smarter, Ripple's, one of the executives over at Ripple is saying, listen, a crypto winter, if you're a strong company, crypto winter is a perfect time to build business. So snatching assets, snatching, resources, capable people, that's going to be high on the list for a lot of companies that have money in the bank. A lot of interest. Anyway, let's get to the numbers, because it has not been a pretty couple of days. And I do expect that before we get the numbers that come out on Thursday, inflationary numbers that come out on Thursday, we're not going to have a great time. I think we're going to move sideways, and I think there's a good potential that everything is going to go down again. So there'll be another big sale. So I think there'll be another big sale before we see anything bump up. So when you see this whole 13 out of 100 in terms of the fear and greed index, still in extreme fear, yeah, pretty much. DeFi space still hovering, in that 70 to 75 level, or 70 to 80 level, somewhere in between there. Obviously down at the lower end, but we were at 78, 77 a couple of days ago. And then you have this. Now, take a look at this, right? Here you go. We were moving sideways, and I said, we could take a dip. Moving sideways, we could take a dip. We got a pop, then a drop. Small pop, drop. Sideways, same thing, pop, drop. Then we went pop again, and then there was an elongated drop. Bam. Now we're moving sideways again. I think it's highly possible we could see another drop. Again, I keep saying 15,000 is a real number for Bitcoin. That's a real possibility still in my head. Everybody thinks that, well, not everybody, but a lot of people think that 17,000 mark was there. I really do think 15,000 is a touchable number for Bitcoin. And I've been saying before, I've been keeping cash on the side for major dips. If I see things on a sustained, upward momentum, I'll try to get back in, even on the upswing, but not much on the upswing. But again, we're far way off from all-time highs. Far way off from all-time highs. So I have a long time before I have to worry about, should I keep investing? Should I pull out? Should I switch and diversify my whole portfolio? I'm pretty diversified now, as well as you should be. My kids are, and this is what I teach them. Instead of getting your kids, expensive sneakers, I don't get them that. They get jobs and they go get that stuff. I try to give them money, and money in a way that it makes them think about what they can and cannot do with it. That's what I want to do. My little guy was the first to get a trust, because he was in a commercial. Actually, not a commercial. He was on a TV show once, so he had to set up a trust. So there's a good reason. Again, trusts are good. So I don't get into things outside of crypto right now. I probably will later on, but right now I'm focused on crypto in terms of what I'm speaking about. But trusts can be really, really, really good vehicles. Look into that. Anyway, everything is in a seriously red space. Ethereum is in a seriously red space, right? And you look at these numbers and you say, wow, Bitcoin had touched below, 20,000. That was the number. Well, look at those numbers and you can see where, there's serious upside depending on what you want to buy, depending on what you believe in. Again, XRP is mad fast. Doge is mad fast and cheap. Same technology as Bitcoin. You have Solana, which I'm not a big fan of Solana anymore. I used to be. I have to see a lot more stability come from them before I start to believe in them again. But they do have solid tech. Or not solid tech, but, well, solid tech, not necessarily dependable tech. We have to see where it goes. They said that they've put in a couple of fixes, and we'll see how that works out. But still a good layer one when you compare it to the rest of the space. Cardano, I think Cardano is going to do some big things before the end of the year. Algorand, huge. Check out my previous videos on the coins that I'm really interested in. I think I rattled off like somewhere between 11 and 13 coins that I'm interested in. Shiba Inu, yeah, if you look at Shiba Inu, dark red, Doge dark red, kind of moving in sync in a manner of speaking. So those are things that I pay attention to. If you just want to see the list, well, here you go. You can see everybody that's moving, in deep red. Now, pay attention to who's had a pickup across the 7 days and how far red they've gone, because that's what I'm looking at. Polygon has been doing a lot of stuff. The sandbox is on there. They just did something with Bored Ape Yacht Club. So they've got a lot going on. Even though they're basically a layer 2, they act like a layer 1, and they have a lot of projects running on their network. So pay attention to Polygon. Yes, I'm a big holder and a big fan of Polygon. Again, that is one of the coins that I say, one of the projects that I say is connective tissue. They're laying the groundwork for a lot of different things. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps me and helps my kids to know that, hey, we're doing some good stuff, sharing our journey. The other one is absolutely hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm dropping a new video. Have a great day.